This is the new Mercedes CLE. It used to be called the C Class Coupe and the E Class Coupe. You see, Mercedes has got rid of both of those models and amalgamated them into this CLE. So, is it the best of both worlds, or am I going to put the boot into it? I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow. First thing you need to know about this car is that diesel isn't dead. You see, you can get it with a 2-litre diesel engine with this much horsepower. Then there's two 2-litre turbo petrols with this much horsepower or this much horsepower. Then there's a plug-in hybrid version with this much horsepower. And then there's this engine here, which is a 3-litre straight 6. And it has this much horsepower in the AMG version, or in this CLE 450, this much horsepower. So, is it quick? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. Time have we got? 4.6. Now it's supposed to do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, so 0.2 of a second off. I think that might be due to the fact that the traction control was flickering a bit. I could feel it cut the power just a little bit on that instant takeoff, so actually quite a decent time considering. And you know what? Most people who buy this car won't be going for this engine, they'll be going for one of the less powerful ones. And with cars such as this, it's not just the performance that matters, there's something else which is key. The looks, of course, and I think this car really does do the job. It's got a smart looking front end. I like the grille with the little Mercedes stars. There's loads of those in there, and just in case you're not sure that it's Mercedes, they've got a big star there and another slightly smaller star there. Overall though, the design is pretty neat and tidy, sporty looking, though if you go for the AMG version, it's even more sporty looking. And the vents here at the front, thank goodness, are real and not fake. Well done, Mercedes. Moving down the side, alloy wheel sizes start at 18 inches, which I think are going to be too small. These are the 20s and they suit the car perfectly. I do think it's very elegant though, as you walk down the side with these creases here and just the overall swooping of the bodywork. It's a pretty car. There is one problem for me though. Stick please. Look. Fake exhaust. This is a 3-litre straight 6 engine. Why can't we see the actual exhaust pipes for it? Why do that, Mercedes? It's such a shame, because otherwise this rear end is really, really perky. In fact, overall, I think this is a sporty looking car. However, does it actually feel sporty to drive? Do you know what? Yes, it does. Now I'm actually going to put it into sports mode, and that is going to just make the throttle and gearbox a bit more responsive and add some weight to the steering, and it makes the noise from the engine a little bit more raughty, though it is actually like supplementing the noise from the engine through some trickery through the stereo speakers. Now I can take control of the many gears myself using the paddles, and it's responsive then. That was me getting too close to our tracking car. I told you it was responsive. And the safety system's kicking in there. Oh gosh, modern tech, eh? Anyhow, it does handle really nicely, and I tell you what's good as well, the suspension on a bumpy British road, it kind of moves around a little bit. It doesn't feel quite as tied down as say a BMW 4 Series, but it sort of moves and works with the road, and I quite like it, so it feels comfortable even though it's got a sporty edge to it. However, this particular car doesn't have air suspension, but it sort of feels like it does, and it doesn't even have adaptive dampers, but I think they've got the balance between comfort and sportiness just bang on. I also really like the steering. It's just nice and responsive, and it's got a good feel to it as well. And then this being the 4-wheel drive version, it feels rear-wheel drive in the way it propels it out of a corner, but you've got that added benefit that it will send power to the front wheels. Well, now it's really cacking itself once again. The added traction of sending power to the front wheels to give you extra thrust out of bends if the grip is low. It's really, really quite a good system, and it works nicely and adds to the enjoyment. Thing is though, most people aren't going to be driving their car like this. They're not. They're probably more likely to be stuck in traffic. So what's it like to spend time in this cabin? The interior design is really, really nice. I like the dash. This huge center console makes it feel sporty. The way it blends into the screen is quite cool. Although I do think the screens in this car are a little bit over bezeled, like iPads from about 10 years ago. That is not the only problem though. You see, while everything looks nice and it's all rather shiny, some of the bits are a touch cheap feeling. For instance, this. Not convinced by that. Also, this little button here feels very, very cheap and scratchy. And this bit here, look, the way that moves around, not keen on that. I think the worst thing for me are the stalks. This stalk for the gear selector there, I mean, that is really, really cheap feeling. And you're going to be touching that a lot. However, the location of it is quite useful, and I'll show you why now. You see, when you're manoeuvring, it's just so easy to do that rather than putting on a lever with your other hand. I do like it. It's all about making your life easier. comfortable, relaxing. That's what Mercedes are about. Look, it's just perfect. You know, why do you want to be pulling levers here or it just makes so much more sense having the gear selector on the steering column. Speaking of which, the gearbox itself, it may have 9 speeds, so quite a lot to think about, but it's just so good at changing gears. You don't notice it at all. It's just smooth. It's a sporty-ish coupe, so it has a slight bit of firmness to it, but it's still really relaxing, what you'd expect from a Mercedes. Steering is light enough for just pootling around town. It's all very nice, and the brakes, progressive and easy to use. It's quiet in here as well. You don't really hear the outside world much. In terms of the visibility, well, coupes do struggle from usually a high back end, which means that
Currently it is partly cloudy in Banbury with a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. Today it will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 4 and 15 degrees Celsius.
Why? This system always interrupts you. You don't even have to say the M word and it will interrupt you like that. Why? Anyway, I was saying visibility. So if you have the back window, actually it's a nice wide window, but it's not that deep because you've got that coupe raised rear. Big pillar here, which is a bit awkward. And because you're in a coupe, you sit quite low, but look at this. You can sit quite high. Look if you want to, look at that. And now I can see better. Now I'm going to show you the manoeuvrability of this car. Turning circles, it's 11.7 metres, which is actually okay for this kind of car. So let's just turn around. Am I going to make it round past that bike? Have I got this wrong already? No. Trust the sensors. Use the force. Oh, I'm not going to make that. No chance. Oh, so close. Once again, that gear selector position is bang on. Almost made that. Could have at a push. But, you know, I'm using this tech here to just help me out, and I can see round the car really, really well. So you know exactly how close you can get. And that brings me on to the rest of the tech in this car. The entertainment system on this car is really good. So this is the inbuilt nav, nice graphics on it, it's quite zippy, and to navigate through all the systems, very, very simple. Now you might find it a bit of a problem, there's no physical buttons for the climate control, but look, you always have the digital buttons here, so you can quite easily get to the fan and do that kind of thing. It's better than on a sorry, got a bit of a cough. I also like the phone mirroring, so Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Just going to Android Auto here. Look, there's the mapping, look at that. My signal's not great, so that's not the car's fault, it's my phone's fault. And this is quite nice as well, the way it does that, look. So you can have everything pretty much that you need on screen at one time, your Spotify and stuff, or you can go just to wide maps. Very, very good. I also like the digital driver's display. It's very nice and clear, good graphics on it. There's some different views. I'll show you those views a bit later in this video, but on this screen here, you've got lots of information that you can scroll through. I won't bore you with that, but what I am going to tell you is this. I don't like the touch sensitive buttons on the steering wheel. So you swipe like that to operate them, and sometimes you press them so you're never sure what to do. And when you're driving, you can accidentally brush them and change the different menus. And that makes me a little bit mad. But there's something else that makes me mad. The price. You see, this car starts at £46,000. This one with this 3-litre straight six engine and in the top trim level, £73,000. And it's not even the AMG version. What the heck is going on with new car prices? Anyway, you can't take away from this car that it is rather desirable, but if you want to impress your friends, is it going to be any good for that? Being a coupe, you can only actually take 3 friends along with you because in the back it's a strict 2-seater. In terms of room, well look, knee room, it's not great. Headroom, I can get away with it. Now I'm 179 centimeters tall. I've got a big chap sat in front of me though, to be fair. But let's try it with a big chap in the back next to me. So cameraman Adam, would you mind just getting into the car? Let's have a look, see what it's like for you.
Headroom's not great.
No. You're touching?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, poor Adam. Oh, wait a minute, I've also noticed something there. Wait. Why does that look like Bender, the robot's face from Futurama?
Bite my shiny metal ass.
And the quality of that. Wait a minute, and this. That feels like pre-production. Did they mean to put this on sale? Have a feel of that, Adam.
Sorry, that didn't work.
Yeah, you're right, Mercedes. You should be sorry about that.
Very scratchy.
It's very scratchy. Now, I would be okay-ish on a longer journey in the back of this car, but I'd much rather be in the driving seat. And that brings me on to what this car is like for longer journeys. Well, it's a really comfy car to do lots of miles in. The auto cruise control, which will keep you a safe distance from the car in front and steer to keep you in lane, works really, really well. And You know, if you want to just accelerate through it, you can. It'll disengage and automatically come on again when you lift off the accelerator. It's nice, it's not too intrusive, doesn't get flustered. That's good. So too is the fact that it's reasonably quiet even when you're going at speed. So you get a bit of road noise, but then the tyres are quite large, but there's not much wind noise at all. When you need a sudden burst of acceleration, such as when you're joining a motorway or dual carriageway, this car delivers as well. So I'll show you now. 3, 2, 1, go. That's 70. That was quick to respond, really quick. I think the fact that the petrol engine is supported by a little motor just gives you that little bit of fill-in power while you're waiting for the turbocharger to spool up. That was nice. How about the economy though? Surely 3 litre straight 6 can be quite low. It's gonna be thirsty. And this car is averaging.
Can you say that again, please? The selected station cannot be called up.
Why? Every single time. And you know what? I've been driving this car for the last few days and it hasn't interrupted me. I've been like, why hasn't it interrupted me when I've been driving over the last few days? It's because I've been driving it alone. And so I haven't been talking, obviously. I'd be kind of worried if I had been talking. No, I've been on the phone to people and it hasn't interrupted me. Yeah. Anyway, confusing. Always when I'm filming, it just pipes up. I think it just wants to try and steal the limelight. Is that right, Mercedes?
Sorry, something seems to have gone wrong.
Yeah, you're telling me. What's it like for taking on holiday? Well, let's find out. So, big capacity, 420 litres. However, if you go for the plug-in hybrid, you lose this extra space underneath here. And as a result, you end up with just 290 litres. Now, obviously being a coupe with a normal style boot, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to fit things in, but you do have some practicality in terms of some hooks to hang things off, and there's some tie-downy points and some nets. And if you need to carry bigger items, you can do this. Wait there, look through the boot and you'll see me appear, hopefully, very soon. Look. Door shut on me. Chaos.
Sorry, that didn't work.
Sorry for the delay. Yeah, you got through loading. Oh, that's quite handy. 3-way folding rear seats. Look, there we go. See? Yep. So you can carry longer things. Oh, that didn't sound very good, did it? But what about practicality through the rest of the car? So in the back here, you've got some storage area there. Look, there on the side of the seat. Then there's a couple of cup holders there, but they're so shallow that really, look, if anyone accelerates, can't remember drinking there, that'll just tip over like that. Then there's a pointless storage tray there, and another pointless storage tray there. Where's the USB-Cs? Oh, look, they're down here. Look, so you got your USB-C charging. Right, here in the front, I do like the center consoles on Mercedes because you can have one side shut and the other side open. Like that, and you've got 2 USBs in there. Underneath here you have some better cup holders than in the back, place for your key. Speaking of which, I do quite like the key, feels expensive. Then you've got some USB-Cs there and a wireless charging pad in there. Open the glove box, so you've got place for your manual. I quite like this. You've got place for your manual there, and then you've got the rest of your glove box there. That's not that big. The door bins are though, so Adam, would you mind putting that in the door bin? Thank you very much. Yeah, well illustrated. You can have my job actually. And finally, I just want to show you this vanity mirror, right? I don't know why they got the light up there, because this sort of shields it. It'd be better if you had the lights there to shine in your face. That brings on to 5 annoying things about the Mercedes CLE. I don't like the fact that Mercedes puts the seats controls on the door. I'd rather have them on the seat. It's just more intuitive. Also, they don't put all the controls there. So if you want to do the lumbar support, you have to go into the seat menu on the screen, and then you can do, where are you? No, I don't want massage, lumbar. There we go. See, it's making me so annoyed that I can't even talk properly. You can get the CLE with rear axle steering, and I'd like to demonstrate that to you now by making the back wheels move. Oh, only I can't, because for some reason, maybe it's Brexit, in the UK, normal models of the car aren't available with rear axle steering like they are in Europe. You can only get the rear axle steering on the AMG version here in Britain. Thanks, Boris Johnson. This is a brand new car, yet we have fogging in the headlamps. You can change the dials by pressing this button on the steering wheel and then choosing between these different ones, so you can have navigation, so widescreen navigation, you've got the assistance, which is all like your lane departure warning and all that kind of stuff. It's that. And then the one that you really want, sport. However, it's horrendous. Look at this, right? I'm going to start the car. Look at this for the rev counter in sport mode. It's that. This. Now the sports displays on older Mercedes were like that. Way better. What? That's crap. This car's doors are just so wide it makes it difficult to get out in tight parking spaces. So I'll just illustrate the reality of a parking space. So Jack, if you just come in and kind of, yeah, look like, see, very, very difficult. The door's kind of quite open, but you're gonna have to do that with your hand to protect the other car and then try and slither out. Oh, the indignity of it all. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. All but the entry-level version of this car get matrix LED headlights, really useful. They'll blank out part of their beam so you don't dazzle oncoming drivers, and it means that it illuminates the road all around them so you can see extremely well. This is what they look like actually at night. I find them really, really useful. The car has a special traffic light camera, so you know when you pull up to the traffic lights and sometimes you just go, oh, I'll get too close and now I can't see the actual blooming traffic lights either side. Well, look. Traffic light cam, it's wide angle so it shows them, so you can look on the screen to see when it's time for you to move off. Here we go. There's a little seatbelt butler which hands you your seatbelt when you get in the car. There it is. And then once you put it on and go to drive away, it goes away again. Obviously it gets out of the way when you need to get in the car as well. I wonder how many times I can do that before it breaks. Right on board of that now, the butler one. The top 2 trim levels of this car come with a Burmester sound system as standard. Not only do the speakers look great, but there's 17 of them and they sound fantastic. Have a listen to this. Wait a minute, why are they playing Christmas music already? Let me know in the comments what you think that song was. By the way, before you say it, the distortion you heard wasn't the car speakers, they were crystal clear to me. It was just because they were so loud, my microphone couldn't handle it. You can get the car with an air freshener that's built into the glove box. So what it'll do is take that scent and blast it through the ventilation system to keep things smelling. What scent is it actually? Freeside mood, whatever that means. And that brings me on to my final verdict on this car. So then, should you avoid, consider, shortlist, or just go right ahead and buy the Mercedes CLE? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It is rather expensive, but then I guess it does look it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Click on the video windows for some more videos and on the CarWow logo to see how much you can save on your next car. Thanks for watching.